Hey, Coach Huesman, since the bye week, your sack numbers are way up. Is that a coincidence, or did something change during that bye week?
You know,
12 sacks in the last 2 weeks.
yeah, that's a lot of sacks. I'm not real sure. I think, a lot of times it's what people are doing. Obviously, the last 2 weeks they haven't been able to run the ball on us, so it's turned into a throw game. Obviously, that's part of it. I think our guys, we've known up front that we could rush the passer with our front four. They've done a really nice job of rushing the passer. So probably, when you stop the run, they got to throw more. You're probably going to have better odds of getting some sacks. But I didn't realize the number was that high. It's pretty good.
Hey, if I could just follow up by asking about Britton. Here's a guy who didn't play a whole lot of defense before he got here. Could you say a word or two about his progression? And usually redshirt freshmen take a year or two to get acclimated in there where he's playing. He's doing okay.
We've been really pleased with him. He's a fighter, plays hard, keeps his mouth shut and just goes out there every day and practices. And I mean, he's a neat kid to be around. There's no question about that. And I think he's just kind of scratched the surface, because we're going to get him to about 285, within a year or two, and I think he'll keep his speed, and I think he'll be a really dynamic player. He's playing really well for us. All our front guys are playing really well.
Thank you.
Coach, does the guy on the other sideline, does that add any element emotionally for your guys, be it, hey, we really want to beat them for that reason a little bit extra, or all the way down to, hey, it'll be good to see him?
Well, just wanting to beat somebody and getting real excited right before the game will have no bearing whatsoever on whether we win or lose this game. I mean, they can want to win, they can know who's on the other sideline, but if you don't practice well on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, prep Friday, come out ready to go, focused on Saturday, it doesn't make any difference. So, that maybe that's a question you ask them. I hope they understand that it's all about preparation. It's not about who's on the other sideline. And I would hope it's about Delaware versus Richmond, because it is a pretty good rivalry, I would think.
Absolutely. Following up, is a guy that recruited a lot of them here. I mean, do you think as players that has an emotional effect? Or, I mean, you said ask them. I definitely will. But what kind of your take?
I would have to think about what if we went and played my old team, how they would feel. They'd probably want to beat my brains in, I would guess. So, but I don't know. I don't know. To me, I think, and it's your job to talk about these things, but I just think we make way too big a deal out of it. And I'm sure Coach Rocco probably thinks the same way. There's too much made out of him and us and this and them, and it just should be. It's because it's just a great rivalry. I mean, I hope our players are preparing because they're playing Delaware. I can't imagine there being any advantage of our guys being excited because of him being on the other sideline. But if it helps motivate them to be better on Wednesday, knock yourself out. If being mad at your uncle makes you work harder on Wednesday, knock yourself out. I don't know. I think what I gather from them, our players really liked him a lot and liked the staff a lot, and obviously they did a great job here and they recruited quality players. So, I would think they would have a lot of affection for him and the people that are on that sideline.
When they played Virginia Tech, they dared the Hokies to throw 9 in the box a majority of the time. Is that how they play, or was that something that you think they might have cooked up because they were facing a redshirt freshman quarterback? Because it doesn't sound like a smart way to defend you guys on Saturday.
When you play a BCS program and somebody that's like Virginia Tech, you got to make a decision. You got to take something away. If you go half and half, they'll rip you in the run, rip you in the throw game. And if you make a decision, all right, we're gonna defend the run game, and hopefully we can survive in the pass game. Sometimes you do that. Sometimes you make those decisions. What they were thinking and why they did it, I don't know. But it's those people are hard to defend because they got so much speed out there and they're physical. And sometimes you can't stop the run with 7 or 8. I mean, sometimes it takes 9. If it takes 9 to stop the run, and you give up something in a pass game. Now, what they do against us, I don't know. I think they'll probably run their defense that they have, and try to figure out ways to slow us down in the throw game. Whether it's loosening people up, maybe not support the run quite as fast as they normally do. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but I can't imagine them wholesale changes to try to stop our throw stuff.
How much of a concern is your running game? I know when you have Kyle and you have the weapons that you have at receiver, it takes a little bit away from it. But I mean, as a staff, how concerned are you about the rushing game?
Concerned. We've resigned ourselves to the fact that we've got a really good quarterback and some really good receivers, and we're protecting him pretty decently. That's us. I mean, it's never been me. But there's a lot of bad things about me, but I'm not stupid. And, I can turn the film on and watch these guys and understand that this needs to be what we are right now. And that's what we are. We're going to throw the football. I would hope that we can execute runs when we need to execute runs. And, whether it's a 3rd down, whether it's a 4-minute offense, a 4th and 1, I would hope we can execute it and then get some runs going. But, we're not throwing the ball 18 times and, running it 55 times. It's not us anymore. So, and I like our offense. I mean, pretty good offense.
To that point, then, does it feel at times in games when you're watching film that you're kind of gambling with house money, being one-dimensional in the passing game?
As long as Kyle keeps hitting the wideouts, I'm good with it. I'll play with the house money. But we're going to have to run the ball. I mean, we're going to have to. I don't think there's a question about that. But sometimes when you throw a little short one, it's just like a run. I mean, I've seen Tyler Wilkins make a bunch of people miss so far this year, turn a little 3-yard gain into a 15-yard gain. So we are focused. We have to run the ball. I mean, we're going to try to do the best we can running the football.
Outside of being the last 2 guys to hold this position, do you have any relationship with Danny?
I actually met him for the first time at the conference down in where were we down there? Somewhere in South Carolina.
I wasn't invited. I don't know.
The summer meetings down there. That's the first time I met him. Very impressed. I liked him a lot. I mean, he was really complimentary of our program. He was complimentary of Richmond. We talked about the players that we had. You could see an affection that he had for them, no question about that. I liked him a lot. And then I saw him at Media Day, and we talked again. But that was the first time I'd ever met him or had any conversation with him whatsoever, and was very, very impressed. You have to ask him if he liked me or not. I doubt it. But he's a good guy. Good guy. I can see why our players really liked him.
How far can you go asking about guys, or how far would he offer in terms of breaking down personnel? Is it against the unwritten rules to say this guy doesn't like rolling left and throwing right, and this guy doesn't
You mean
like contact over the middle?
You talking about when he talks to me?
Yeah.
He's pretty candid. We had kind of figured out, a lot of the things about our guys. And, he kind of, like I say, this guy's not very strong, or this guy can run. And obviously those are things that he saw. But, we obviously talked about Kyle. He loved Kyle, obviously. just some of the guys, the fifth-year seniors, he talked about with high praise. But I think he's obviously well respected in this profession, no question about that.